नमस्ते बिटिया, हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया. Myself, Dr. Arti Purohit, JVN, Professor, Department of Pathology, Faculty of Homeopathic Sciences. Today we are going to start a new lecture on a bacteria, that is the Bacillus. So start with the Bacillus. Bacillus, as the name suggests, it means it is in rod. So it is gram-positive rods. We have two species of Bacillus which is very important. One is the Bacillus Anthrax and second is the Bacillus Scereus. In today's lecture we are going to discuss about these two species. First of all, before starting these two subspecies, we are going to start with some common features of the Bacillus. It is a gram-positive rods. It is an aerobic bacilli. But they are facultative anaerobe. On gram staining, they are definitely gram-positive rods, and on liquid medium, they give the appearance that is an inverted tree appearance. And there is Bacillus, actually with the Bacillus there are many first name. It is the first bacteria which have been seen under the microscope. It is the first bacterium which has been inoculated with the pure culture, and it is the first bacterium to which vaccine has been prepared. So many name includes with the Bacillus. That's why I'm talking about the culture characteristic here. On culture, there is a Medusa head appearance. Medusa was a princess, and she is having the hair like this texture. So it is in Medusa head appearance, inverted tree appearance, and many names are come with the Bacillus like wool sorters disease and other one. Now start with the Bacillus anthrax. Anthrax culture characteristic, I already told you that Medusa head appearance, inverted tree appearance, gram-positive rods it is. After that we will come under the head, that is a virulence factor. Virulence factors are, it contains the exotoxin, lethal factor and edema factor. There are the three important factors which it contains. It is the power of this bacterium through which it will go produce some pathology in the body. Now anthrax come after the virulence factor. We will talk about the pH and the resistance power. It do not has a much resistance power, although every gram-positive bacteria has a high resistance and very less susceptibility. But Bacillus anthrax do not contain much resistance power. It is highly susceptible bacterium, and it is ubiquitous. It found everywhere in the atmosphere like soil, water and everywhere. Now the person who infect by this anthrax are some are associated with particular occupation, like the person who do some sheep or cattle farming. That's why it is called the wool sorters disease. There are the three mode of transmission of this disease. One is the ingestion, second one is the inhalation, and third one is the cutaneous mode. In cutaneous mode, the person who carry the carcasses of the cattle on their back and travel through these, they start with one papule and one cutaneous eruption on the back of their head, on back, and it is called the black ash scar. It is actually the painless ulcer which has an edema surrounding it, and it will convert into a great deep ulcer. It is called the cutaneous anthrax. Now inhalation, the person who are working in some factories of wool sorting, the person who are working in wool sorting, they contain the dust of the wool particles, and the dust contained in the wool, and they again get the infection, and they have the pneumonitis, features of pneumonitis. This is called the inhalation mode, and it is an inhalation anthrax. And third is the ingestion. The person who eats undercooked meat of these cattle, sheep, they they get the ingestion mode. It is a rare mode, but it is fatal illness. After the mode of infection, we'll talk about the features or clinical features. Clinical features in every clinical features are different in different types. In ingestion, there is a diarrhea and vomiting. Inhalation, there is a features of pneumonitis. In cutaneous mode, there is a fever with a great edema in the ulcer, deep ulcer. Now we'll talk about the lab diagnosis. Lab diagnosis, again, as it is, as we are talking about the culture characteristics and the morphology of these, it is actually the rods like this, gram positive rods. So in lab diagnosis, first of all, we will take the specimen. In ingestion, we will take a stool. In inhalation, we will take the sputum, and in cutaneous ulcer, we will take the ulcer granules or the secretions from the ulcer. On staining, there is a gram positive rods, and on culture characteristics, again we have a medusa head appearance and invertebrate appearance, and other than that we have some other investigations like PCR, and we can also do the X-ray, HRCT according to the symptomatology of the patient, according to the need of that case. Now we will talk about some treatment. It is in treatment is again divided into two parts. One is the general management, second one is the medical management. In general management, we have to tell the patient about the auxiliary measures, like he has to leave that occupation, or he has to stay away from these all sorting process, and he has to maintain the hygiene. And in medical management, the penicillin is a drug of choice, and it is highly sensitive towards the penicillin and penicillin derivatives. And apart from that, we'll talk about the homeopathic management. Definitely we'll go through the totality of symptom and take the whole symptomatology and give the best minimum to the patient. And this is all about the Bacillus anthrax, but on the other half, there is a second species, that is a Bacillus cereus. Actually, it is self-limiting illness. It is not causing much hazard to the health, but it is again divided into the emetic type and the diarrheal type. The common feature of the Bacillus cereus is as like the Bacillus itself. Bacillus cereus, there is an emetic type, diarrheal type. In emetic illness, definitely after the eating infected meal, there is a much vomiting other than the diarrhea, and in diarrheal type there is a dehydration is more common, and there is a diarrhea after the 3 or 4 hours. Emetic type is more fatal than the diarrheal type, and it is again the penicillin is most of the time it is actually the self-limiting illness. There is no need to give any treatment towards it, just avoid the cause, or after that we'll give some treatment like penicillin and its derivatives. It is highly sensitive, but we have to maintain the hydration properly, water and electrolyte balance to the patient. And this is all about the Bacillus. I hope you enjoy this session. If you have any query, please tell me. I'll explain it in the classroom, and thank you very much.